The following program is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. You can request podcast topics, enjoy exclusive RPG and video content, and more. Even just $1 a month gets you gameplay episodes a week early and makes you officially cool. Just like our Trash Elite, a guy from Ohio, and Rob, DG, Kitty Holbrook, Drake Starstorm, Passion Killer 711, and True City KTL.
There we go.
Greetings and salutations. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by The Boy.
Hello.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. Today we're talking about All Elite Wrestling Full Gear 2025. But before we get into all of that, we need to discuss what's crumping. What's crumping?
What's been in the Crumpverse? Do you want to go first, or should I?
We're probably not doing a podcast on it, and it's sort of topical. We have both finished Twisted Metal.
You think we're not gonna? You know what?
We never did on the first one,
and I don't know that I have enough material to podcast about. It was fun.
I can't imagine having anything to say about the Twisted Metal franchise in excess of maybe, like, I don't know, a couple of minutes on this podcast. I would not. I would advise you not pay any attention to this channel if you like Twisted Metal and want to learn more, like, about the characters.
Guys, I think he might be joshing us.
Why would I do that? My name is Eric J. Chucky, as we established.
I think he might be Eric J. Chucking us.
Oh, you're goddamn right. What did you think of the show?
I think it's really fun. I think overall, it is better than the first season. We never really talked about the first season as its own podcast. We probably mentioned it offhand in some other podcasts at the time. I really liked the first season of Twisted Metal. The second season feels a lot more like Twisted Metal.
Agreed.
But I have a warning. A signpost on the road to Twisted Metal. If you're anything like me, and judging by the fact that you're listening to this podcast, it's possible you are. Those first two episodes are going to be a real rough fucking sit.
They were really rough for me. If I hadn't watched the first season...
Yeah, if this was the first season of Twisted Metal, beyond that not making sense because there's a lot of pre-established stuff, I would never have watched all of Twisted Metal. If I wasn't already bought into some of the characters from Season 1, most of the characters from Season 1, I wouldn't... it was bad. The first two episodes are bad. They are cringe. But
there are good parts about them, but they don't feel good.
Overall,
yeah,
it's a negative experience. Yeah. But starting at episode 3, we make a huge upswing in quality, and it just goes up from there. It is an excellent show overall. Also,
the episodes are only like 35 minutes long.
Yeah,
on average,
you can.
So.
I mean, look, it is. I and my compatriot here, him more famously, actually. Have bitched long and loud about people like, oh, it gets good, you gotta watch like 4 seasons, and on season 5 it gets good. I think 2 episodes is actually a reasonable amount of toll
especially
to pay.
If they're only half an hour. That's not even a movie.
That's less than one feature-length film.
Yeah, so... but we won't go too deep into any of the details. If you'd like to know more, I guess let us know. If you want to force us to podcast about it, you can join the Patreon. Like some
you could make us.
Yeah.
I'm watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure right now because of you people.
It has been bizarre. That's been another thing we've been doing. I mentioned before I returned to Animal Crossing, making more of an effort in Warframe. Stepping back a little bit from Marvel Rivals. Still playing, but not with the same investment. Once Gambit dropped, who is amazing, seemingly for me only, because I haven't seen anybody else complaining about this on the internet, the entire player base became stupid and toxic.
I haven't played Marvel Rivals in some time. I've honestly thought about coming back because of Gambit, because I fucking love Gambit. He is one of a very small cadre of fictional characters I've literally based tabletop RPG characters around. But here's the problem, listeners. It's 2 Ultimo Dragons. He invited Mercedes over.
Yeah, I was about to say, got a Mercedes then, huh?
But he talks about it in my presence, so I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna dip myself into the vat of acid.
Right now, what I've been doing to keep up on my quests and stuff, especially this coming Friday when they do the big anniversary thing, where you can get a bunch of blue currency for free, like a bunch.
I kind of want to play. I want to play some just because I want to try out Gambit. He looks so fun, and I love Gambit.
Almost all of their missions can be done versus bots.
Oh,
So just play.
you know what? It
versus level
might
2
be
bots.
like my last 2 years with the league where I didn't. I just played.
Yeah. I'm just waiting this out. It'll go back to normal eventually. I don't like this happens the first couple of days after a new character drops, but they all stuck around and didn't learn nothing.
Gambit just got that sauce, man.
And they're not even playing Gambit.
He just got that raise. He brings all the people.
Anyway,
The King of Thieves.
timestamp, bro. If you ever come back, we miss you. Timestamp to now for us actually talking about.
If you edited this podcast, there should like a little Sarah McLachlan timestamp, bro.
Yeah. You were my heroine. Yeah, anyway, All Elite Wrestling Full Gear was Saturday. We watched it Sunday, so we missed out on the pre-show.
But we got one of the pre-show matches.
Yeah, about like 75% of it, as I understand. I do want to cover the pre-show really briefly, but do you want to give a quick spoiler-free review on Tuesday?
Sure. All right. Wrestling pay-per-views are a weird medium, right? Because they're one of the few things that are still expensive. Because it's not like you get this free with Peacock or whatever. It's you got to pay $40, and that's if you're a Max subscriber, and if not, it's like $50.
You have to pay the premium subscription on Netflix to get WWE PLEs now.
So even then, it's gotten. But like, this is way more than a movie ticket.
Yeah.
But nobody fucking watches them after the fact. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I've been catching up on the AEW cinematic universe.
People do, but they have to be like either going through a deep dive or lifers. Like this is their thing that they do is watch wrestling. Or they're employed to, which is the second thing, but with money involved.
Yeah, if you guys, if I had enough money to not do a regular job, sure, I'll go back. I'll watch all the WWE PLEs if I'm getting paid that much. I don't give a shit.
Hey, speaking of which, Patreon link is in the link tree in the description. But so what would your summary be? This
was a pretty decent show with mostly pretty good matches that has struggled sometimes to hold my attention. I don't think that my partner here and I probably disagree. I don't think there were any matches that were actually bad on this card. I think there were a few that you would categorize that way.
I really, unless you're sitting at two frogs, hello friends in the Discord, or less, I don't know that the match was bad.
So 2.5 for you is just
2.5
still
is
mediocre.
Subpar. Yeah.
And that's fair. I honestly, that might be agreeable, that terminology for me.
The same, I think this was an imminently skippable pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't think this is any nothing here was so good that you gotta watch it, dog.
Sure. There was some great athleticism, but it wasn't, even though things happened, I almost rather would have read a Wikipedia summary.
I will say the match of the night, I was not expecting to be the match of the night. It was a big surprise.
It was one of the ones I thought might happen, but
yeah. Shall we break it down?
Yeah, let me go real quick through the pre-show.
We didn't watch any of this up until the last one, which we caught most of, like I mentioned.
I did see some highlights. Surprise, surprise, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson beat Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, who they're trying to make a thing again, somewhat awkwardly. Big Bill and Brian Keith, who are still a thing in spite of it all. And the Outrunners, who were dressed in Marlboro Cigarettes-themed gear. In a $200,000 four-way tag team match. That's cool. Good for Austin and Juice. Boom and Doom, which is Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall, defeated Roppongi Vice, or RPG Vice. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Now that I'm
they
seeing
stay
it.
at RPG Vice. It is Roppongi Vice.
Well,
the same team.
They might be two different teams.
No, it's Rocky Romero and Trent, isn't it?
Were they Roppongi Vice, or was that a stable they were part of?
I think both of those things are true.
Anyway,
you know what? We have a Japanese wrestling fan in the Discord. You tell us.
The important thing is the Rizzler was there. He had a cape. He made his little Rizzler face.
Does he still look like he might be in Child Protective Services material?
He looked a little nervous, but I think he was having fun.
He's the most tired child I've ever seen in my life.
I want good things for the Rizzler. Buy the Rizwitch at your local Hardee's or Carl's Jr.
This is the most surprising turn that his sheer aura, him fucking mewing at the camera, has sold you.
It's because he looks 40 at age 8 or whatever.
That's what I mean.
I feel like if the Rizzler can get up every day and continue life, so can I. He is an inspiration. And then I watched Jesse Cox talk about him when he was trying to learn about young people memes, and I'm like, oh, he's really earnest, actually. I can't hate on that. He is just a kid.
Look, you guys don't understand. This is a gigantic fucking turnaround.
We haven't seen a turnaround like this since Eddie Kingston. If we do a list at the end of the year for like big I was wrong award is one of the names. If you don't put him, I'm gonna. I've been filling it out all year, and I might.
I've been trying to keep up.
Hook and Eddie Kingston beat the Workhorsemen because who wouldn't? I think the Rizzler alone could beat the Workhorsemen.
-1 has a pinfall victory over QT Marshall. We don't know what's happening.
Well, yeah. And El Sky team, Místico Máscara Dorada, who is not the same guy as the old one, and Neon beat the Don Callis family, that is to say Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero.
I had predicted the other way around, but I didn't know this was for the fucking CMLL Trios Championship.
Yes,
I just didn't notice that when I copied the card, because it was written there. It's in plain text. I just didn't notice. Otherwise, I never would have obviously, it's the other. They're the team that's going to win, but still, they beat Okada and the current New Japan World Champion. That's a feather in your cap.
Yeah. And Hechicero, who I guess always wanted to win the trios titles. I don't know. Hechicero is really helping me stay invested in a lot of AEW. This is the match we saw most of. This bled into the regular show. What a great match. What great psychology between Takeshita and Okada. And a lot of great athleticism from...
Really fun.
The Luchador Místico. He got oldered.
Yeah.
I've seen him recently. I just think he hit the wall.
Sometimes it's best to follow Thumper logic, I find.
Yeah. So I don't really have anything else to say about that. Do you?
Oh God, no.
Okay. I could complain. Trios championships. There are some in AEW not defended on this show. It's like the titles don't matter. Darby Allin is trying to kill the Death Riders. I don't know why they won't die. Darby keeps screaming he won't die, but also neither will the Death Riders. So he fights Pac on his biggest return in a regular old singles match. This was well wrestled, but struggled to keep my attention because this storyline needs to stop.
This is so beyond its expiration date, it's starting to grow novel forms of life. You must stop this storyline. It simply must end. At this point, I don't care if Darby is the one who loses the storyline. Just stop. Just stop. And look, I recognize that Darby Allin versus the Death Riders had a big break in it, where he went to go climb a big old mountain. I don't care. It's been going for like a year and a half.
And just the Death Riders in general, like, it's being drawn out by Darby right now.
I don't mind the Death Riders continuing as a stable. I want them to feud with different people. There is a Death Riders match against different people later in this card. I think 2 of them that I don't mind.
I wasn't really in it, but I digress.
I just want new people fighting. I just want new action figures slamming against each other, guys.
I would like to not have the Death Riders finish all the time.
Yeah, look, if we're gonna... it used to be different. I swear it did not start out as just the Bloodline finish. It was a different thing. But it became just the Bloodline finish, and it's been that for like 7 months.
And I know that's classic wrestling. I'm not trying to pretend that the Bloodline invented it. I'm not stupid.
I mean, look, absolutely not.
They just made a spectacle of it like a year ago, or 2 years ago at this point. And for a long time, and very high profile. You can't follow this up with AEW's Juan Cena retirement run.
Like, it's just... I want different flavors, please.
Yeah, basically.
I would like to go back to the Death Riders who were just fucking hardasses who stood on business. I liked that. Sometimes heels are just allowed to be cool and win. And that's fine, actually.
Well, and like if you're gonna broom them, quit fucking will they, won't they?
Yeah, just stop
progress this story.
In this scenario, given this is actually a good time to talk about this. So actually, no, I'll wait till later. There's a better time.
All right, we move on. Pac 1, which I think is the right call because
he was debuting back.
It's a big return for him. He needs it. He finally is dressed like a regular man, even though I don't like his new haircut. It was fine.
His new haircut feels like cope. I recognize as a fellow balding man, I recognize hairline cope when I see it.
Yuta did interfere, but it was just Yuta, and I like Yuta, so I don't care. We had a 4-way tag team match with all of the people in the semifinals of the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship tournament. That is the Babes of Wrath, Willow and Harley Cameron, Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, and the Timeless Love Bombs, Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa.
I'm still really excited for the Women's Tag Team Championship. They put together a whole bunch of really good teams. I like all of these teams quite a lot. They broomed the few loser teams a while ago. But even I am thinking, maybe wrap this up. Maybe wrap this tournament up.
Well, they probably want to do it at World's End or whatever they call it.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. It's the next pay-per-view, so yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. I just looked at it, actually. I was thinking Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir were going to win this to make Marina Shafir look good, and Megan Bayne, to a lesser extent, in a match that doesn't actually matter because all you get is to pick the stipulation for your semifinal match in this.
Yep.
But they did that instead for the Timeless Love Bombs, which makes me think they're not going to win the tag titles.
I have the same theory, actually. Yeah. Them winning this, I predicted them to win this match. And I was right, because I don't think Toni Storm is winning that tag team title.
And that's the same reason I predicted Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, to give both of them a rub without making them the champs.
Yeah. I honestly think the titles are going to go on either the Babes of Wrath or Sisters of Sin. I'm calling that shit now. If the finals is Babes of Wrath versus Sisters of Sin, oh fuck, I don't know who's winning that match.
I am happy because Marina Shafir is finally here. She's not the best in-ring worker. I don't know if she ever will be.
She finally got over the hump into being competent.
She is competent.
She's just a wrestler now. Thank you.
I really enjoy her.
She's always had a cool look and cool gimmick. Now she doesn't make me think you're going to kill anybody.
Yes. She executed a couple of moves better than other wrestlers, honestly, and I'm proud of her. I don't know if that's weird to say.
I like liking things.
Yeah.
I never wanted to dislike Marina Shafir.
Yeah. This was a really fun match as well. There was some not great chemistry, but overall it was a pretty good fight. Some pretty good spots. The longer she sticks around, the more I like Mina Shirakawa. Not that I didn't like her in the first place.
But you like her more.
Yeah. And I was pretty happy with everything that happened here. It was a fine match.
Yeah, I agree. This was super good, super fun. Not the match of the night, but it could have been in a world where that other match didn't happen.
Next up, we have a contest for the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
Which do still matter. Credit where it's due.
Started with a video hyping up Stokely.
Which is fucking peak. Yes, a Big Stoke production FTR. I love it. Big Stoke is my guy. Big Stoke is the best thing FTR has ever added. Big Stoke on top forever.
This has been a pretty good rebuild month for FTR for me. After all of the crap with their heel turn that just didn't make a lot of sense.
They've really settled in and fucking got their legs under them and got some miles in, and they feel established as a big heel team now.
They were, of course, up against Brodito, which is Bandito and Brody King, a baffling yet popular tag team.
I'm going to get the finish right out front. FTR wins this. FTR are the new tag team championship. The new championship.
Yeah, Brody King and Bandito have to wear them now.
Yeah, there you go.
It's weird.
But
Brody tried to put Dax over his shoulder, but Dax insisted. He's like, "No, you gotta put me around.
It's gotta be the belt. That's a traditional. I'm a traditional championship." But no, they're the new champs. I think that's probably the right call. I loved Brodito as the champions. They were my knights in shining armor, stopping me from watching Bucks FTR episode 467. And then they won the title in a Cinderella story, and I loved their whole title run. But it has been 3 months. I know how the timer works. It's about time we wrap this up, yeah?
It also just never came online for me. Their chemistry never fully got fluid.
For you.
For me, no, I mean, even in the ring. Like, you criticize their inability to execute their own finisher this whole time.
And that's absolutely fair. Yeah, I think that's just tactical error.
Sure.
They picked the wrong team finisher. They picked some shit that's just too hard to do consistently.
Yeah.
And then didn't pivot.
And I don't get... I wanted, like, a couple of scenes of them being pals.
You would a day in the life of Brodito.
Something. Just let me understand why.
Explain to me why they hang out.
Yes. Please give me the slightest hook for me to hang an imaginary idea on that they aren't literally just two guys thrown together to fill space who ended up winning the titles.
But I think this is, I mean, look, am I aware this is almost certainly happening so that Edge and Christian get to be AEW Tag Team Champions? Yes, almost certainly. But I still think this was probably the right call.
I've actually been fine with FTR having the titles for about a month now. I could have seen it at last pay-per-view. I don't think it was anywhere near in the make, but like that would have been fine. And I like Bandito a lot, and I will say that Bandito, Cash, and Dax put on a great match that Brody King was also there for. Now, I'm not trying to be mean to Brody. I like him just
Brody
fine.
King's usually a great worker. He's
really
usually
solid.
He's a really solid tag team worker. That's pretty much all he's been doing since he showed up in AEW, and he's good at it.
He did recently fall off a ladder at his home.
So maybe he was just working hurt.
Yeah, who knows? But and maybe that's the reason they put the belts on him and not a booking thing. I don't know. But it was not Brody's best showing, and it did overall affect the match. If you could just look away when Brody's doing things, then you're probably fine. My favorite spot of the night, when there were a lot of really amazing ones, but you know me, I like the jokes. Stokely was so good at getting whichever member of his tag team was in the way, both of them, I think, in the path of Brody diving outside, that he had to get back into position to get hit by Brody.
Yeah, he was so goated, he got all three of them out of the way.
And then he died.
And he didn't move at all until the end of the match. It was like halfway through the match. He laid in the exact same Peter Griffin dead pose for 10 straight minutes, and that's to be commended.
That's beautiful.
He didn't shift even.
I thought this was a pretty solid match. Really, a lot of the spots with Bandito and Dax especially, although there were some good ones, Cash too, were really, really good.
Cash's ridiculous vertical leap gets slept on. That dude gets air.
The next contest was the Casino Gauntlet match for the AEW National Championship. This was previously referred to as the International Championship. TNA said, "Hi, we are still relevant. Can you not?" Or no, not TNA.
No, this is a different title than the International.
NWA, excuse me. They used to be NWA TNA. That's why I get confused.
But this is a different title than the International Championship. This is just a different title. The International Championship was unified into Okada's belt. This is a new title.
They were going to call it something else, though. You're right. They were going to call it something else.
I don't know what that is.
Regardless, it's a new belt. I don't know why they didn't just not unify, but whatever. Anyway, I'm irritated that this title thing happened. It just seems like a lot of...
The AEW International Championship is the most absurd belt history in AEW because it started as the All-Atlantic Champion, and then it, to quote Tony Khan, leveled up into the International Championship, and then it got unified into the Unified Championship, which I think is what it's called now, with the...
Continental.
With the Continental Championship from the Continental Classic. So, and now they had to introduce. AEW doesn't need more men's titles. We learned that just a couple months ago when they unified 2 of them, and then we're adding another one. But they got to add another one. Might as well go on someone who can actually use a belt.
Yeah, this is a match that included Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Ricochet, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, Kevin Knight, Roderick Strong, Mark Davis, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Daddy Magic Matt Menard.
I don't know where he's reading that from. So, did he memorize who was in this? I don't see those names anywhere on here.
I have many abilities, some of them nefarious.
Very impressive.
It's at the bottom. But regardless, this was a great little match. Nothing over the top, really. I think everyone except for Mark Davis really showed off their ability. And that is to say that Daddy Magic came out, yelled a lot, had a very brief fight with Daniel Garcia, and then they left through the crowd. Which is the long and short of Father Sorcery's specialization. The winner, as the boy was alluding to, is my boy Ricochet.
Leader of the GOA, and winner of King Shit of the Year award for turning 2 turbo jobbers into a fucking dominant stable. All 3 men deserve credit, but Ricochet deserves the bulk of it for being the centerpiece they built around, and also the guy who always talks.
Yeah, it's been good. I like GOA for a while, and
I loved the Gates of Agony.
Yeah,
but they were jobbers, dude.
They were
turbo jobbers who couldn't win, who couldn't beg, borrow, or steal a win. GOA is dominant. GOA is impressive. GOA has multiple victories over Bobby fucking Lashley. GOA is on top. And now they are, because they got gold.
I will say this wasn't as exciting as a lot of the Casino Gauntlets because there wasn't any, surprise entrance. You can maybe count Daddy Magic, but but it was pretty good, pretty fun to watch. I had a good time through it.
I think I was so stunned when my prediction was right, because predicting that sort of match with the surprises and stuff is, because it's not even like it's for like a world title, so you don't even like, well, that guy's never going to win a world title. This is for a new belt. That could go on fucking anybody.
Yeah.
But I think Ricochet is actually a really good call. He can do a lot with this title, and he can do a lot to make this title feel established until 6 months from now when Tony Khan throws it in the bin and invents a new title.
So one could theorize, this is in defense of this mid-booking, that Okada didn't want to lose his title. So Tony was just like, well, we'll just get this other title and absorb it all into you. I've booked myself into a corner. And we'll just make a new one. It's fine. I don't see that being the case, but, you never know what the backstage is like.
That theory isn't as exculpatory of Tony Khan as you seem to think it is.
I'm not trying to excuse Tony Khan. I'm trying to excuse the fact that this booking had to end up stupid. Explain more than excuse. We move on to something else that I wasn't a fan of. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly in a no-holds-barred match, which means that they have to play the song from the 90s WWF pay-per-view the whole time. You
joke, but Tony Khan would do that.
If it weren't licensed by WWF, yeah. Absolutely.
So I like this. This ended up being a pretty decent submissions match, with like a hardcore submissions match. Not a thing you see a lot. Because not an I Quit match, that's a different thing. And it wasn't necessarily a submissions match. It just, they both had decided that it was independently of one another.
The problem I had is that there wasn't a lot of dynamism to the match. Even the hardcore spots were mostly fork-based.
There were also tacks, I believe.
No,
that wasn't that match.
That was later.
That was a different match. That was a better match. I think this was a fine match. I don't think it blew the world up or anything. I'm just really fucking happy Jon Moxley's wrestling a different person. Okay?
Yeah. Look,
and telling a new phase of his story. This is where I get to bitch about this. In canon, in the universe of AEW, where pro wrestling is somewhere between like gladiatorial combat and sports, the wild wolves that Jon Moxley has surrounded himself, the vicious, psychotic killers with which he has surrounded himself,
And Daniel Garcia,
who is just like a street tough, who were being held together by his sheer aura, essentially his ability to project strength and control, and their belief in his mission that AEW should only be for those fucking hard enough to manage it, only for the best of the best, and that this should be serious. These fuckers should have eaten him alive pay-per-views ago.
Yes, I agree. And I think we've said as much in the past.
And after this, they finally, at long last, when he was walking away after having lost to Kyle O'Reilly again, and then just like attacked him after the bell, and they did a big flex. He did like a big I'm strong flexo, celebrating having beaten him up after the bell and then running away like a coward. You saw Pac, Claudio, and Yuta all lock eyes, and like there was a distinct pause. That's really good storytelling, but I'm gonna need you guys to speed it the fuck up.
This, as you're implying, these wolves should not have had this patience.
Yeah, this you should have gotten. If you are the, we all know what Jon Moxley based this gimmick on. If you are that particular type of strongman, your underlings should eat you a lot sooner than this.
After the second loss to Hanger on a weekly TV show is when it should have happened.
Maybe the first loss to Darby, if they're absolutely like, no, it's just a little airborne. It's still good.
Yeah.
When you lose to Darby Allin, a man you have put in the ground nearly effortlessly multiple times, it's time for the old king to go away.
And I appreciate there's a lot of subtext here. There's been subtext in so much of what the Death Riders are, but this is professional wrestling. I need it to be text.
I like subtle storytelling.
I do too.
But look, I'm gonna need you to fucking bring it up. Bring it up a little.
And part of that is because this show, and we only watch Dynamite. This show has, 10 concurrent storylines going at any one time?
And
most of them are Don Callis versus, but like otherwise, it's a lot to keep track of. So I needed the announcers to tell me, oh, Hechicero always wanted to win the trios match. He's really into that. And then watching Hechicero Shemp for the rest of the show when he was around, that he was like kind of chagrined he didn't get the title, but he was happy about something else later. I loved that. That bought me in. Thank you, announcers. That's what they're there for.
As the best to ever do that job said, wrestlers make the music, announcers make the lyrics.
I do remember Tony Schiavone saying that, but I think he was quoting JR.
Next match.
Okay. I thought this match was kind of boring. Maybe if it had been shorter, maybe if we didn't have so many fork spots and or long submissions, or maybe if there was something more between the submissions, it could have been a little more exciting. Not so for the match that followed it, a no DQ match for the TNT Championship, Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher. This was golden.
This was even longer, and it was gold. Fried gold, bell to bell, fucking excellent match. No notes.
Creativity, stakes. It felt like it could go either way. Even in the build, it was a little like, well, obviously they're not gonna, well, unless they did this, then they could. And everybody performed really well. Kyle Fletcher saved Mark Briscoe's career with an arm while he was doing a move. He sacrificed his own arm to do so. Small applause for you.
We learn and we grow.
Yeah, we do. And really, it was an exciting hardcore match. It was very good.
Exciting, well wrestled, well put together, good psychology. I had my prediction, but would not have put money on the winner at all up until it ended. They bought me in. I believed. Like, they sold me on the wrestling match. They made it seem like anybody could win, and then they put on a fucking fantastic show. Match of the night with a bullet, not close.
The winner, of course, was Mark Briscoe. He has a lovely new TNT championship with a camouflage belt.
They gave him a custom belt, the conglomeration did, and it actually looks really good.
I'm glad they're bringing back that gimmick with the TNT title. I really liked that. Had he lost, he would have been forced to join the Don Callis family, which would have been an interesting storyline. So it did kind of deflate that. Well, he's lost twice. He's not going to just lose a third time.
But, if he loses a third time, he has to do a new thing now, and that's a change for his character in a new direction, and maybe Mark wants to have a bit more of an edge. That I could have believed it.
Now, the conglomeration did just get a fun new video, but AEW has done it before where they give you a new video and package and song, and then you lose. So, again, as I've said before, you can't do this thing every time and then expect us to think it's going to work out differently. You got to do it differently sometimes. With so many different aspects of wrestling, I've said this. And that is one of those ways where they do subvert those expectations sometimes. So it lets you go, well, I don't know, maybe not. With some sort of realism to it instead of just hoping. I don't think I have a whole lot else to say about this one, do you?
Sadly, there's not a whole lot to say when they just get everything the fuck right.
Yeah, it was really good.
Fucking A+, guys. No.
Don Callis on commentary all night was sensational.
It goes without saying. He's the best commentator they have. Guest. Shivani is the best regular.
Excalibur's really good too, and I have such a fondness for Taz, and I'm really warming up to Nigel as time goes on. And even Riccaboni sometimes can be okay.
Wow, okay, you have reached Nigel levels of haterdom to say shit like that.
I think that's all the good commentators in AEW. I guess when Adam Cole does guest commentary, he's actually really good. I think he might have a future there if he can't wrestle again. So that's something to look forward to maybe. I think that's a great wrestler turned commentator.
Do you know who was really good on commentary back in the day? Bryan Danielson, back when he was like a wrestler, when he would do guest commentary spots, it was actually really good. Very knowledgeable, very calm, very informed.
That's weird. I, for some reason, cannot think of Bryan Danielson doing good commentary. I don't know what might have blown that out of my senses.
I don't know. He yells a lot. Anyway, moving on.
He says the dumbest shit. Right. So the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander, of all people, were up against Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega for $1 million.
I like these fake ass money matches.
I love them. So much.
Just keep making the numbers stupider.
Yeah. The Young Bucks won this one. The match itself wasn't much to write home about.
I think it was fine. The Young Bucks are excellent. Jurassic Express is excellent. Kenny Omega is excellent. The Walking Earmuff is fine, I guess.
Luchasaurus was a little off tonight. There were a couple of blown spots, but he was just out of position. And Josh Alexander was there. So that was kind of rough. Obviously, Kenny can't be the Kenny of old anymore on account of all the intestine he's missing. But you're right, it was a solid match. It's weird to say it was a solid match when the Young Bucks and Jack are doing the amazing shit they're doing. But
they are only a portion of the match.
Right, yeah. But I enjoyed watching it. More important, I think, was the angle of this match.
The post-finish angle.
Yes.
The Young Bucks win. They get their $1 million, so they get to go back to being happy, Corbin. And they're all excited, and Don Callis is excited because he spent the last fucking 2 months courting them into the Don Callis family. So they all pick him, the Bucks and Don Callis pick up the money, and they go out of the ring, and then the rest of the Don Callis family, who had conspicuously stayed behind, begin to kill Kenny Omega again. And finally, at long last, Matt and Nick Jackson aren't fucking have it anymore. And they go to save their boy. This is, I think, without exception, the best intentionally booked face turn I have seen in AEW in some time. Since Hanger.
Right down to the fact that the Bucks extend the hand to Kenny, he slaps the hands away, and then they hug. That's great. That's beautiful shit. It was really, really good. I would maybe try to catch the promo, the post match, if you wanted to see any part of it. The match was fine too, but you know. Anything else to say about that one?
I'm really looking forward to seeing the new Elite in action doing stuff. That's fun.
The Don Callis family kept the money. That's the thing H.E. Sarah was glad to have later.
Yeah, you know what, the interviewer was like, Don Callis, things didn't go how you wanted. What do you mean? I got $1 million.
Yeah. Man, I don't like Josh Alexander, but he's got a good little stable under him. Our next contest was the AEW Women's World Championship. Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, her title not on the line, was fighting Kris Statlander in their third clash.
I think one of AEW's chiefest sins could be easily described as, oh, that was good, do it again.
So Mercedes, the most impressive thing about this match was a spot Mercedes did about halfway through the match, where she did 13 amigos.
13 for the belt she currently has, and then 1 for the AEW Women's World Championship.
And that is an incredible feat of athleticism and stamina and
on both women's parts. That's very hard to do.
It's a lot in a row. You got to stay connected. Please don't do that again.
No, that was stupid.
And maybe it's Suplex City talking, but we did it once. I'm kind of done.
Suplex City was cool because it was surprising, 1, and 2, it was clearly a physical prowess flex, because for about I would say 3/4 of those suplexes, John Cena wasn't helping. Brock Lesnar was throwing him.
Well, if Kris Statlander wasn't helping, Mercedes wouldn't have been able to do that. Kris Statlander is at least 2 Mercedes.
Yes, and thereby, if it's not to flex your actual physical prowess and look that dominant, it just begins to look like Kelly's whirlwind.
Yeah,
where she just kept fucking going. It starts to look a little silly.
You're wasting my time. The same problem.
Also, it has the Cesaro problem. I say Cesaro because he was still Cesaro when he pointed this out. It doesn't make it look cool. It makes it look like your suplex is shitty.
You got to do 13 of them, and they still kick out.
If you do 13 of any wrestling move in a row to someone and they don't kick out, stop doing that move. You're bad at it.
The powerbomb concerto also did not get over with me. Like the first 1 or 2 times he did it, that was pretty cool, and then it was a thing, and I lost all patience for it.
As Claudio rightfully points out, it makes it look like your power bombs are shitty.
Which I think they really did a really good job of selling that he killed him with the first one, and now we're all just
we are just flexing now.
So
I don't remember anyone ever kicking out of that.
I did not care for this match. I've seen a lot of differing opinions on it. I would say that almost all of the moves were executed really well. The only one that wasn't might have been planned to look bad for match flow reasons. And that was Mercedes, I think, or Stat. One of them did a seatbelt, and they didn't quite get all.
It was Stat because that's how she won the title.
Yeah, right. I thought Mercedes did one at one point to kind of like, hey, maybe Mercedes can do this. But the time between moves was not well used, in my opinion.
Wrestling is, it's important to do cool moves, but they have to look like they might happen when 2 people are having a wrestling match. As opposed to them, like, doing your big move and you both get up like it's America's Got Talent, you bow and you do the next move.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that bad, but in the vein of what you're talking about there, it's like if you and I were trying to record a highlight reel in the latest WWE game, and instead of editing it to show off all the moves in rapid succession, we left in the parts where we moved patiently.
Where we got up and
it was the stuff that happens between the breaks during the pandemic in WWE.
This was a match that was edited, that was set up to be edited later for short form content.
Yeah, I just wasn't into this one. Stat picked up the victory. I think that's the better decision. I wasn't.
Kudos to Mercedes.
Oh, that was the other thing. Mercedes was wrestling baby for some reason, and Stat was wrestling heel, and I don't know why. Stat was being extra aggressive. She was doing light heel tactics.
No, you guys are wrestling fans. You have to be to have made it this far into this podcast. We don't need to. It was just firm for about 70% of this match. They just decided, Mercedes Moné and Kris Statlander just decided to wrestle opposite alignment.
And I wouldn't call it a full turn unless Stat had done something at the end of the match to solidify it. Kris Statlander does not need to turn.
No, stop.
If you do one more, you are Paul White.
You are on the Big Show precipice. You are looking into the Big Show abyss. You must pull back.
And was it just because he was on the show earlier helping the Rizzler?
He produces shocking turn waves.
Speaking of shock, here we are, babies. This is what you came here for.
Motherfucker. Speaking of shocking turn.
So I've been worried. We talked, like, this is why build suspense. This is Tuesday. Samoa Joe beat Hangman Adam Page in a steel cage match for the AEW Men's World Championship with help of Bloodline-like, Death Rider-like interference.
Hook, who has been established as being kicked out of the ops for being injured, and mad about it, and like tried to make peace, but then the ops turned heel and was like, I knew it. I knew you guys were fucking assholes. I'm gonna fight you. And has been teaming with Eddie Kingston, and they won a match earlier this very show. Surprise, surprise, it was all a ruse. He was always in the NWO, and then Samoa Joe wins. I
think this story could have been good if we weren't still within the bubble of the Death Riders.
Listen, the ops are never caught lacking, and I understand that. I like Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is excellent. He's one of the coolest motherfuckers on the roster. He's lost a step. I think he would agree, but that is no impediment to getting over when you're someone like Samoa Joe. I'm not mad that Samoa Joe won. I'm mad that Hangman lost.
I really wanted to get at least one more month. 2 would have been preferable, but 1 more month of Hanger as the champ.
I would have liked to have ended 2025 with Hangman Adam Page as the AEW World Champion. I almost said championship again.
Samoa Joe would wear him?
But I would have liked that. Because Hanger went through such a long story to get to the title again. It was such a big climactic win to get him the title, and his run was shorter than his first one by a couple months.
Not all title runs need to last forever. Like Samoa Joe's second AEW championship run. I think that could be brief.
But listen, when I can time it on Jow terms, you're being too tropey. In this instance, it was the pay-per-view that happened after he crossed the 3-month mark where he lost the title. And stop. Hanger's run more than Hangman Adam Page. I'm sure Adam Page is perfectly fine with this. I'm sure he has somewhere he wants to go with the story from here. I believe in the heart and soul of AEW. That run, that title win, that build, and the run he was having so far, which was good, deserved a better end than to get bloodlined by fucking Hook.
It's just not.
And I like Hook.
I like a lot of this too. It's the timing is so off. Look, there's a million reasons they could have put the title on Samoa Joe at this point. It, like you said, might be part of the story Hangman wants to tell. They might be doing the corpo thing of Samoa Joe's TV show is very popular. Let's get eyes on our product by using him.
Yeah, let's pop a number. You know,
it's nobody likes it, but it needs to happen to get the wheels greased.
It could be that the thing that happened after that is going to lead to a pretty immediate title run. And we really don't need Hangman and Swerve to fight again.
There's a bunch of reasons. I could come up with a bunch more. But the way it was executed feels lame, especially when the Death Riders are still around. It's so oppressive. If you invalidate the... Take me for what I mean here and not what I say, listener. If you invalidate the sanctity of the rules of wrestling, both the spoken in world rules and the metatextual rules as we understand them as wrestling fans, too many times, they start to lose all meaning. And that is what happened to WCW. That is what happened, they survived, but still, you know what I'm talking about, to TNA Wrestling. It's, don't go there. Don't, be fucking careful. It doesn't inspire faith. It doesn't engender hope for the company at large. Never mind having patience in a story where we just went through, 9 months of Jon Moxley deciding he was the champion because he knows 5 guys?
And I don't want that to be the case again.
No, that's not, now is not the fucking time.
There is an unspoken metatextual rule of wrestling that's held by many people, most famously Dusty Rhodes, that faces are almost always better chasing, and their title runs should be short. Most of the time, the title should be on a heel. Dusty was famously a huge proponent of this through his whole career as a booker and a wrestler, and many wrestling fans, not just the old guys, but even modern wrestling fans, agree that face runs should be short and dynamic, and then heel runs should be the status quo.
Hangman's run was not dynamic as part of the problem. It was short and plagued with problems. It felt more like the victory lap he deserved after jobbing to CM Punk agreeably in spite of it all. And I wanted to see a couple more laps on that. And I can't, if he doesn't care, then I don't care. And if I was in his position and my boss said, okay, champ, we're taking the title off of you, here's that $1 million I give you every month, I would just be like, okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure Adam's fine. I'm not here caping for that man. I am here caping for better storytelling.
Yes, that is what I'm here for as well. And this might be a beat in a greater story that we will look back on and go, oh, you know what, that was really good. But we don't get to be that person until it's over. Right now, we're the us right now.
And the most annoying part of this for me is that I like Samoa Joe. I think the ops are cool as hell. And you've robbed me of being able to be excited about this title run because you started it off with such a fucking wet fart of a title change.
So let's pivot. Let's close this podcast. Thoughts on Swerve. Swerve makes his big return as Hanger is getting beaten down by the Ops and their new goon squad. What do we think about Swerve returning? What do we think?
I think it was funny that production fucked up and they had to do it twice. I think his new music is good, but it'll take time to become as beloved as his old music. Yeah. I do think it is better music.
I don't miss the skirt.
Many people miss the skirt. But I think it is better music. I just think it'll take time to become as beloved, but we can work there. I think Swerve Strickland will be AEW champion again before too long.
I'm not really looking forward to that. But AEW is in the beginning of a problem phase where they have lots of talent and most of them aren't main event. And for whatever reason, they can't or won't get guys over the hump. I thought Darby might be able to pull it off, but injury and mountain climbing and this dumb fucking storyline have all really hobbled that. I thought Jack might be able to pull it off, and they elected not to. So I guess, yeah, Samoa Joe's champion again, and Swerve's probably going to take it from him again. And maybe then Danielson can get off the fucking commentary table and come win the title again. And then maybe Mox can have the title again after that.
And time is a flat circle.